For years, we gardeners have been told a rather simple story. If you want big, beautiful plants, you must feed them. And the quickest way to do that, the story goes, is with a bottle or a box of factory-made fertilizer. We've become reliant on these chemical fixes, haven't we? We sprinkle on the blue crystals or pour in the colored liquid, and we see a quick burst of growth. But this convenience comes at a hidden cost. These synthetic feeds often bypass the very foundation of a healthy garden, the soil itself. They act like a fast food meal for our plants, providing a short-term rush, but doing very little to build lasting health and resilience from the ground up. The truth is, this approach has slowly but surely damaged the intricate web of life beneath our feet. Synthetic fertilizers can harm the beneficial fungi, bacteria, and earthworms that are the true engines of a thriving garden. They can make the soil acidic and compacted over time, leaving it lifeless and dependent on ever more chemical inputs. I found myself growing increasingly disillusioned with this cycle. I wanted to find a better way, a more gentle and sustainable path. I began looking back, searching for older, wiser methods that worked in partnership with nature rather than trying to dominate it. The answer, I discovered, wasn't in a garden center aisle, but in the wisdom of ancient farming traditions. This search led me to a fascinating and brilliantly simple technique, one that has been used by Korean natural farmers for centuries. It's a method for creating a potent, living tonic for the soil, using nothing more than the plants already growing in your garden and a bit of sugar. It's called fermented plant extract, or FPE. It's not about feeding the plant directly, you see. It's about feeding the soil. It's about nurturing the billions of microscopic organisms that live in the earth, empowering them to do what they do best, create a fertile, vibrant, and self-sustaining ecosystem that supports robust plant growth naturally. The idea is wonderfully straightforward. You take the vigorous, fast-growing plants from your own plot, the very essence of its springtime energy, and you capture that vitality in a bottle. Through the simple and magical process of fermentation, you unlock all the nutrients, hormones, and beneficial microbes contained within those plant cells. This creates a concentrated liquid that is teeming with life. It's a probiotic for your garden, a way to reintroduce the microbial diversity that modern gardening practices have so often stripped away. It felt like a revelation, a way to finally close the loop and create a truly healthy garden from the soil up. To truly appreciate the power of something like fermented plant extract, we must first understand a fundamental truth. Healthy soil is not just dirt. It is a living, breathing community. A single teaspoon of good garden soil can contain billions of microbes, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and countless other tiny creatures. These organisms are the unsung heroes of the garden. They are the ones who break down organic matter, like fallen leaves and old roots, turning it into the essential nutrients that plants can absorb. They are the biological machinery that transforms death and decay into new life, a constant and beautiful cycle of renewal. These microbes do so much more than just serve up dinner for our plants. They are architects and engineers, building the very structure of the soil. Beneficial fungi, for instance, create vast networks of microscopic threads called mycelium. These threads bind soil particles together, creating a wonderful, crumbly texture that allows air and water to penetrate deep down to the roots. This structure prevents compaction and erosion, ensuring your plants have a stable and welcoming home. Without this bustling underground city of microbes, soil becomes little more than an inert anchor, unable to hold moisture or provide the steady stream of nutrients that plants need to thrive. This is why the reliance on chemical fertilizers is so misguided. When we pour on soluble nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, we are essentially telling the plant it no longer needs its microbial partners. Why should a plant bother to form a symbiotic relationship with fungi to find phosphate when it's being delivered a dose right to its roots? Over time, the microbial populations dwindle from lack of work. The soil structure degrades, the natural nutrient cycling stops, and the garden becomes utterly dependent on the chemical drip. It's a short-sighted approach that sacrifices long-term soil health for the illusion of a quick fix. A living soil, rich in microbes, creates resilient plants. These microorganisms don't just deliver food, They also help to protect plants from diseases. A diverse community of beneficial microbes can outcompete and suppress harmful pathogens, acting as a natural immune system for your garden. Plants grown in this way are stronger, healthier, and better able to withstand pests, drought, and other stresses. By focusing our efforts on feeding the soil life, we are creating a garden that can largely take care of itself. We move from being a constant medic to being a facilitator of natural health and vitality. Making your own fermented plant extract is wonderfully simple and deeply satisfying. The first step is to gather your plant material. The best plants to use are the vigorous, fast-growing ones you find in abundance during spring and early summer. Think of things like comfrey, nettles, dandelion, clover, and even the fresh, tender tips of brambles. These plants are packed with growth hormones and minerals. The key is to gather them early in the morning, preferably before the sun is high in the sky. This is when their biological energy and moisture content are at their peak. Don't just stick to one plant. A mix is always best, as each species brings a different profile of nutrients and microbes to the brew. Once you have gathered your plant material, the next step is to chop it up. You don't need to be too precise about this. Just roughly chop the leaves and soft stems into 1 or 2-inch pieces. The goal is to break open the plant cell walls, which will help release the juices and sugars needed for fermentation. Now you need to weigh your chopped plants. The recipe is incredibly simple. You will use an equal weight of sugar. Brown sugar is ideal for this. So if you have 1 kilogram of chopped plant material, you will need 1 kilogram of brown sugar. This 1-to-1 ratio by weight is crucial for the process to work correctly. Now it's time to mix. Find a large bucket or ceramic crock. Tip in your chopped plants and the sugar, and get your hands in there. Massage and squeeze the mixture thoroughly. The sugar will begin to draw the moisture out of the plant cells through osmosis. You'll be surprised how quickly the stiff leaves soften and a syrupy liquid begins to form. Once everything is well coated and mixed, pack it all down firmly into your container. You want to press out as much air as possible. The liquid drawn from the plants should start to cover the solid material. This is exactly what you want to see. To complete the setup, place a breathable cover over your container. A piece of muslin or a clean tea towel secured with string is perfect. This allows the gases produced during fermentation to escape, but keeps dust and flies out. Do not seal the container airtight, as the pressure could cause it to break. Now, simply leave it in a cool, dark place for about 7 to 10 days. You will know the fermentation is working when you see small bubbles rising to the surface. If you see any mold, it's usually a sign that not enough sugar was used, or the material wasn't submerged in its own juice. After a week or so, your fermented brew will be ready. The bubbling will have slowed down, and the liquid will have a sweet, slightly alcoholic fermented scent. It's now time to strain it. Pour the entire contents of your container through a sieve or a piece of cheesecloth into a clean bowl, squeezing the solid plant matter to extract every last drop of the precious liquid. This dark, syrupy extract is your finished product. You can add the leftover plant solids directly to your compost heap, where they will give it a fantastic boost. The liquid extract should be decanted into glass jars or plastic bottles for storage. Keep them in a cool, dark cupboard, and your FPE will remain potent for many months. Using your fermented plant extract is incredibly easy, but it's important to remember that it is highly concentrated. You must dilute it before use. A good starting ratio for a soil drench is 1 to 500. This sounds very precise, but it's roughly 2 milliliters of extract, less than half a teaspoon per liter of water. Apply this diluted mixture to the soil around the base of your plants once every week or 2 during the growing season. This feeds the soil microbes directly, enriching the earth and making nutrients more available to your plant's roots. It's a wonderful tonic for seedlings, established perennials, and vegetables alike. You can also use your extract as a foliar spray, which is a wonderful way to give your plants a quick boost. For foliar feeding, use a slightly weaker dilution, around 1 to 1,000, or just 1 milliliter per liter of water. Spray this fine mist over the leaves of your plants early in the morning or in the evening, avoiding the hot midday sun. The leaves can absorb the nutrients and beneficial microbes directly, which can help to improve their resistance to fungal diseases like mildew and blight. It's particularly effective for hungry plants like tomatoes, courgettes, and roses, giving them an extra dose of vitality. To take your soil building efforts to the next level, you can combine your fermented plant extract with other organic amendments. For a truly superb effect, try mixing it with your homemade compost or with biochar. Biochar, a type of charcoal, acts like a sponge, providing a fantastic habitat for the microbes from your extract to live in. Simply soak the biochar in a diluted FPE solution before mixing it into your soil. You'll be creating microbial hotels right where your plants need them. The results are astonishingly quick. Within weeks, you'll notice your soil becoming darker and more fragrant, and your plants will respond with stronger stems, greener leaves, and a vigor that no chemical fertilizer can replicate. It's gardening as it should be, a true partnership with nature.